My name's Joan Watkins and I am a war widow. My husband died over 30 years ago. He was a naval engineer and he had just signed to continue for what was called a fifth five. So he'd done 25 years in the service. I at that time had a 10-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. And I have to say that following my husband's death, there really was no support for me and my family at all. Ultimately, I did have some support from the British Legion in that they were very helpful to me in terms of getting a war pension, but for any other purpose, no, nothing. And it's really sad for me to see that over 30 years later, very little in that respect has changed. Well, at that time, you're in a daze, really. Yes, it's lonely because suddenly you're on your own with children to bring up, but I was in full-time employment as a nurse and a midwife, and you just have to get on with things because life has to go on. But you come home at the end of the day, and once you've closed that front door, it's a very lonely situation to be in. It's evenings, it's weekends. My children were both at boarding school. Ultimately, my daughter became a weekly boarder. And you're lonely when you see other couples still together, doing things together. That's hard. So loneliness is a very insidious thing, has a huge effect on your life. I think we need to start looking at how we befriend people. Human beings are gregarious by nature, I feel. And when you become isolated and away from your community, then that's a very lonely place to be. Being lonely can be very stressful. It's not a good place to be. And we as a society need to do a lot more to relieve loneliness out there in our communities. As I've said before, it's not rocket science. It is a very, very personal, secret thing in many ways.